Arion the lion. Once there lived a lion called Arion in a grassy meadow. Arion was looking at himself in a mirror and noticed his dry mane. "How can I look more handsome and powerful?" And suddenly, something flashed through his mind. He ran into the jungle, and he found some seeds under a tree. They were argan seeds, meadow foam seeds, camellia seeds, avocado seeds, macadamia seeds, and jojoba seeds. Arion pressed oil from these seeds to make something special. He even added a fresh scent to his recipe. That is how this magical hair essential oil was made. After a shower, he applied the essential oil to his split ends. Then blow-dried his mane. His dry and messy hair turned into the silky and smooth mane that he had really wanted. With beautiful, silky, and shiny mane, Ariul became the king of the jungle. A luxurious blend of 6 oils. Atomy Hair Essential Oil.
이 영과 혼을 소중히 여긴다는 것은 사람을 수단으로 삼지 않겠다. 사람을 목적으로 삼겠다. 한 사람 한 사람이 행복이 쌓여가는 그런 일을 하는 수단이 바로 애터미라는 거다 하는 겁니다. 생각을 어떻게 하느냐에 따라 가지고 그 사람의 삶이 바뀌게 된다 하는 겁니다. 내 미래의 모습을 누가 창조해내야 되냐면 내가 창조해내야 되는 거예요. 여러분들이 그려내야 돼요. 그걸 어떤 것을 그리느냐에 따라 가지고 달라지게 된다 하는 거예요. 이거를 그려가지고 어디에 서 있어야 되냐면은 그려진 그 미래의 나의 모습 위에 서 있어야 돼요. 그게 믿음에 굳게 서는 거예요. 생각은 저 위에 있지만은 우리의 자세는, 허리는 한없이 낮아져요. 우리의 모든 행동 양식의 기본은 낮아지는 데 있습니다. 겸손히 섬기는 게 굉장히 중요합니다. 우리가 일하는 것은 다 겸손히 섬기는 것.
어느덧 게임을 시작한 지 1시간째. 언제부터인가 이상한 냄새가 나기 시작했다.
아이 빨리! 야 어디서 이상한 냄새 나지 않아? 뭔 소리야 나 아니야.
넌가? 야 빨리 자백해라.
아니야.
야! 너 말하니까 지금 그래! 나다! 내 X에 문제는 거 있어? 참나. 야 너 너 지금 냄새 나는데 니가 그거 하는 거야? 그만 오늘 그만 너 뭐야? 어떻게 이렇게 가까이서 말하는데 냄새가 안 나지?
굉장히 건강하고 프레시한 냄새가 나는데?
애터미 치약 플러스
브라질산 그린 프로폴리스를 사용한 우수한 품질의 치약이야.
치아 건강에 좋은 자일리톨, 메스틱오일, 몰약 핑크 등 천연 유해 성분으로 실태 제거, 시석 침착 예방, 충치 예방, 구취 제거에도 아주 효과적이라고.
맞아 봐. 벌들의 선물 천연 항생제라고 불리는 그 프로폴리스 말이지?
그래, 이게 구강생에 진짜 효과적이야.
오 마이 갓. 전 애터미 진짜 사용하는데.
목끝을 0.03mm 이하로 미세하게 가공한 슈퍼 슬림모에 그물에 첨가한 기능성 칫솔이야.
그 정도의 미세브라면 나같은 연약한 이분도 괜찮겠다.
당연하지. 1000번의 칫솔질로 탄생한 1초에 한 번씩 달린다는 그 유명한 1초 칫솔이야.
우왕이 작은 사람에게도 적합한 컴팩트 칫솔이 있어.
야! 너 내 거 쓰면 어떡해! 이거 나 하나밖에 없는 걸 말이야! 아!
이거 선물 세트인데 사이좋게 나눠 가지든지 말든지.
뭐야? 하루 종일 상쾌하게?
애터미 치약 플러스 그리고 칫솔.
How to preserve the nature clean and fresh. Change your detergent first. Atomy laundry detergent. Eco-friendly natural ingredients. Perfect for sensitive skin. Super cleansing power. Reduce environmental damage. Keep water clean. Eco-friendly detergent. Atomy detergent.
Good morning, Atomians! Welcome to Ariul Marikina Aja Center Catching Success Online. I am Diamond Master Julian Tabiano of Ariul Marikina Aja Center. And I am your host for today. As we start here in Atomy, it is our culture to begin and end every event by reciting our company motto. Ready, position, please! Yap! Company motto, go! Cherish the spirit, create the vision, follow the faith, serve in humility. Aja, Aja, Aja! We will select the most number of invites on our seminar today. And here's the mechanic. Number 1, your invite must comment watching from, location, invited by your name. Example, watching from Marikina, invited by Julian Tabiano. And number 2, your invite must comment Aja, Aja, Aja in the beginning and ending of our seminar. And one winner with at least 5 or more invites will win Atomy the Fame Essence. Now, let's start our seminar by watching this short company profile of Atomy.
A company that has remained steadfast and kept to the right principles. A company headed toward the world with the right principles. A company that grows with its customers and shares generously. We are Atomy. Atomy, which has been growing ever since its establishment in 2009, achieved 1.9 trillion Korean won in global sales in 2020 and surpassed 15 million global members. Atomy's #1 goal of going beyond customer satisfaction to customer success continues to be a top priority to this day. Providing good quality products at reasonable prices. Atomy's competitiveness lies in the nature of its distribution. The absolute quality and absolute price product philosophy that Atomy has practiced since its inception is included in all of its products, including health functional foods, beauty, living, food, fashion, and home appliances. Hemohim, which has been the top seller in its industry for 6 consecutive years, has passed 1 trillion Korean won in total sales. It has gotten international patents in 6 countries, and in 2020, it got green certification and a patent that protects its functional compounds, which helps in discovering new functionalities. Thus, Hemohim is forging a unique new path for health functional food products. Absolute Skincare has become one of the best-selling cosmetics in the industry, with sales of 100 billion Korean won every year since its launch. The Fame, another luxury cosmetic product reborn with upgraded ingredients and technology, is also loved by consumers as it reflects Atomy's product philosophy. Starting with the US branch in 2010, Atomy is a global company which opened 17 branches in Asia, South America, Oceania, Europe, etc., with 15 million members worldwide. In 2020, Atomy opened in China, Colombia, Hong Kong, and India. Plans are underway to open in Turkey, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Brazil, France, etc. It is preparing to open 30 branches within 5 years. Atomy provides absolute quality and absolute price products to the world and is expanding its global sourcing global sales GSGS strategy through the Atomy Global Sales Network. Atomy's success system, which allows the company to directly run seminars and succeed regardless of individual ability, is the driving force behind Atomy's distinctive growth. The World Seminar is the next generation of distribution broadcasters, which presents Atomy's vision to members around the world, regardless of time and space. Entertainment and media, which converges business and culture. Product trials through augmented reality, extended reality, virtual tours, etc. Atomy presents a vision of a global success system that transcends time, riding the wave of the untapped era. In order to help partnering companies provide the best quality products, Atomy provides various support measures such as cash payment a week within delivery, interest-free operating funds, and a joint quality management system, and so on. These create a culture of accompanied growth in a virtuous cycle. Sharing is a mission that all companies must have. Atomy's executives, employees, partnering companies, and members all practice sharing together to improve the lives of everyone in society. Wherever sharing is needed around the world, global branches will be united and provide support for the happiness of all. A company that keeps to its principles and creates new distribution cultures. A company expanding globally with the trust of people around the world. A company that dreams of customer success beyond customer satisfaction. A company that cherishes the spirit. We are proud Atomy.
Now you know Atomy is not just an ordinary company. It cherishes what it has, so we are sure that its members are all taken care of. Please continue to invite and interact in our comment section to get a chance to win Atomy product. Moving forward, we will be watching President Mr. Park Han-gil lecture.
Even from the beginning of Atomy, our founding principles were quite different. These founding principles are principles that I had in mind when I first started Atomy. The first principle is being. Because the company has to survive. A company must never go bankrupt. I went bankrupt once before. And I realized that a business must never fail because it becomes difficult for the employees, for the businesses that supply products, and for my business partners as well. However, it became very hard on me. So I wanted to make a company that would never fail. As such, being became the first founding principle. Now, when I observe why a company fails, the biggest obstacle is the expenses. If there are no expenses like labor costs or rental fees, a company can still manage even if its sales drop. However, if there is a drop in sales, and a company still has to pay for labor costs as well as rent, those fixed costs and expenses can cause a business to fail. Therefore, I needed to lower these expenses. In a distribution company, the biggest expense are the labor costs. I thought about how much I needed to lower such costs. Atomy has something called an absolute goal, right? Our absolute goal is to make such costs non-existent, which means ultimately there should be no one working. This is an unmanned company, which is what we're aiming to become. An unmanned company would be an enterprise that could operate on its own without any employees, which is referred to as OA, or office automation, or FA, factory automation, for factories. By using a computerized system, we wanted the office to run automatically. The company had to become a paperless office. When the company first started out, one had to fill out an application via fax to become a member. However, we don't do it that way anymore. Instead, you go to our website to type in your name, your bank account number, phone number, delivery address, and the name of the person who is sponsoring you. After that, you click the OK button and you become a member, and then start ordering through the website. Before, our staff would take orders, either by phone or by fax, and write down all the information. We don't do that any longer either. Once you buy a product, the sales statement is made and then saved to our server all at the same time. Simultaneously, the data is sent to the delivery center computer, and with the shipping address that you wrote into the computer, the delivery center printer will automatically begin printing the order receipt. Essentially, you're printing your order directly at the delivery center. For example, such is the same for the accounting department. All the money that will be sent out is prepared in advance so that everything is stabilized. If the money needs to be transferred, but sales suddenly drop, the company's in danger, right? Let's say there was a natural disaster, which would happen if no money needed to be transferred. Wouldn't the company be in a deficit? No, it wouldn't. The company would only fail if it didn't have any money. However, we prepared enough capital in cash in advance. The first founding principle of Atomy is to create a company that doesn't fail. I only failed once in my life. I never want to experience bankruptcy ever again. Our second principle is speed. The first one is about our survivability. It is the act of being. Now, speed is about the growth of the business. Basically, it focuses on how we will develop the business. The concept of time is always included in speed. Time. For example, how many miles you travel in 1 hour is your speed. Since this includes the concept of time, it is necessary for us to understand what time really is. What then is time? Time? Is it money? Does money fill your pockets after some time passes? What about your bank account? Can you explain the concept of time? Time is defined as beginning in the past, passing through the present, and flowing into the future. This is the sequence of time. You go from the past to the present and into the future. Does this help with your understanding? Can you tell me when the present is? The present. Let's say that today is the present. So let's break the day down. If the time right now is noon, then any time before 12 p.m. is the past, right? Since it's noon, everything after 12 p.m. must be the future. Then how do you explain this time right here? We can look at it in terms of hours. If you divide up that hour, it becomes equal parts of the past and the future. Thus, is there a real point in time that we can call the present? Even when you split up 1 second, you will only have a past and a future. Essentially, there is no literal present. By saying that the present doesn't exist, it is concluding that time doesn't exist. There is no present. As such, there's no concept of time. However, we all have an understanding of time. The question then is, what is it that we consider time? To us, a different concept of time exists, where we recognize the events of the past. This notion of time is known as history, and that is how we define this idea. This is what I mean when I say history. As we think of the history of the Joseon dynasty, we think of the kings that founded that dynasty. For example, the incident of Taejong founding Joseon. Taejo founded the kingdom, but Taejong carried out the dynasty. Thus, history is a series of changing events, and the records of such events. It is also the concept of time that we can recognize. Moreover, there is no history if there are no events. This period is called prehistory, which means that is before history. Let's say that we found a relic from the prehistoric period. Then history would extend to that point. Furthermore, if there are no signs of such events, it would be considered prehistory since time at that point doesn't exist. Thus, our concept of time is defined by the recognition of events. We are told to use our time efficiently, right? If you want the business to do well, you need to use your time efficiently. When we talk about using time efficiently, this actually means using these events effectively. Being efficient is mainly initiating cause for an event to occur. Basically, you are being proactive in causing certain events to occur. If the events that occur are desirable to you, then you can turn your life into a prosperous one. What happens if you don't take the lead in such events? If you allow the environment or other people to take control, your life will just pass you by, going in all sorts of directions. This means you are not able to control the events or the time in your own life. Generally, the reason that most people live such miserable lives is due to the fact that they aren't taking control and initiating the cause of events favorable to them. Instead, they waver according to their surroundings. What are these other events? Well, let's say that you're born into a poor family. Though you might study hard, other students always do better, and you are always last in the rankings. Afterwards, you get married, and your spouse isn't really that great. In this example, your life is already determined by your surroundings. And such obstacles become a problem in your life. Basically, you continue to stay poor by not doing anything. How can you escape from poverty then? You need to take charge and change your life by causing the events that you want to happen in your life. If you do, you will be able to live the life that you want. You need to take control of your life. Yet, if you just sit there idle, you will just go with the flow as according to the events around you. So what should you do? You should take action to cause favorable events. By taking charge of your life, you can design, hold on to, and head towards your future. However, many people don't do this. I said that time is just another word for events. And the type of events that you want to create are those that are desirable for you. With such events that are desirable for you, you can design and plan out these kinds of events, as well as take charge in making them happen. You need to take charge of your life and your time so that you can become the master of your time. It is important for you to be a leader of time, rather than just going with the flow of time. This is seen as taking the initiative as you take hold of leadership over your life. Now, there are various properties of time. Time can actually be compressed. If you want to do a certain task, you need to compress time. I will try to simplify what I mean by this. Let's say you have 3 months. And you have a list of 250 people. You want to inform all of them during those 3 months. What kind of events are being created during that time? You are contacting these 250 people, right? With this event that you are generating, you can talk to all of them in 3 months. You can also contact 10 people a day and do it in 1 month. That is a possibility. If you reach 25 people a day, you can even do it in 10 days. By compressing this original event, what are you doing? You're compressing time. You need to compress time if you want explosiveness. Air and oil can be compressed. Have you heard of hydraulics? They use oil pressure to move heavy equipment. Then what happens if you don't use compressed time? Well, you'll be living like a sagging clothesline, and nothing's ever going to work out for you. As such, if you're doing something like the Atomy business, you can drag it out like we did here and contact 250 people in 3 months. However, this method won't be the most efficient. Instead, you need to compress it as much as you can and be determined to contact 25 people a day. Can you reach everyone in 10 days? Of course you can. You need to do these tasks as if you are working, which means you must compress time and the events as much as you can to become efficient. Do you understand the concept of how you should be working? Some people won't compress it. They'll just let it drag on. And then they'll say it doesn't work. All these people are doing is checking to see if it works. They think, I know it won't work, but let's see. And then they tell about their experience to those who don't like the products. Then they think, see, the person isn't doing the business. These people report back to their sponsors. Look, I tried it didn't work. See, I told you this wasn't going to work. Atomy doesn't need everyone to do this business in order to succeed. Atomy will succeed even if only 1/10 or 1/5 of all the people do it. If you are tenacious, you need to go out believing that this business will succeed, even if only 1 out of 100 people do it. When I first started this business, I didn't have anything to show for it. I didn't have any proof or evidence back then. Nowadays, many people know and hear about Atomy all the time. If they haven't, they have access to our website, which makes recruiting that much easier. If you look at how this company was built, it had an ugly start and was created from almost nothing. Armed with only a fighting spirit and conviction, I firmly believed that this was going to work. How can something of great quality and low price not work? Just like water flowing from the top to bottom, this company will undoubtedly become a global company. How can you say a person driving around in a run-down $2,800 minivan telling people about giving away luxury cars is sound of mind? People who were sane just left saying, sure, whatever you say. In any case, you need to utilize time by compressing it. Another characteristic of time is that duplication is possible. Duplication. Since time can be duplicated, it allows Atomy to have great speed. Duplicating time means that we are copying events. Let's say you are recruiting one person or you are selling a product. Now, if you're going to be a leader, you need to do this mercilessly. Thus, you need to create a model based on the pain and efforts that you faced in the grueling process of recruiting someone. Once you do, and you see your partners faltering or sounding weak, or when they lack confidence, you can say, I was able to do this even when the going got tough. So all you need to do is follow what I did. If you want to duplicate something, a good original source is necessary. As such, you can't be thinking to yourself, it would be a problem if my partners were like me. Instead, you need to make it so that you think, my partners need to be like me. In order to succeed, I ran around from dawn till dusk, telling anyone I met with confidence and conviction and did everything with pride in myself. My partners will copy everything that I did. So even if you faced hardships, you will be able to say, I won't back down. Hence, when you meet a person, it has to be a do or die situation until someone gives in. That mentality becomes duplicated in your partner, so they won't let anyone they meet just pass on by due to the original source having the same level of tenacity. If you are going to create hundreds or even millions of copies, what kind of person do you think you need to be? You have to be a steadfast person, a person who won't give in to any kind of difficulty. I also became a role model to others. With the 17 members, I told them, Atomy will be the best global company. We will sweep the world markets. The first 17 members were crazy. You must have that kind of mentality and believe that your willpower will be duplicated in hundreds of thousands of people. If you think, how much will I make by working this much? Or, "Oh, when is this supposed to start working?" Or, "It's so hard to become an auto salesmaster," and you just complain. Then your partners will say, "It's so hard to become an auto salesmaster. I can't do it either." Everyone will think and sound the way you do, so you need to do a good job of being the original. Some of your seniors had risked everything they had in order to be a good original. For duplication, you need to become a good source. You can't slouch around and just be irresolute, because all your partners are just going to do that too. How can you hope for the best if you just complain all the time about how hard everything is? Nothing in this world is easy. You can make $30,000 a month without any investment. How can someone who doesn't have any certificates, was bad at studying, and just got old, think about making $30,000 a month without any effort? It takes 10 years for a doctor just to get a medical license. Even when supermarket owners work from dusk till dawn, many of them still don't even break even. However, you can't go bankrupt with this, as there is no investment to lose. So why can't you just have a do-or-die attitude? It's not just about your life, but also the lives of your family. Why can't you put everything on the line? Wouldn't that be the reasonable thing to do? That is what you should be doing. You can't just be staggering around saying, "Oh, this is too hard." You must transform yourself into a great master copy that can be duplicated into your partners. People say a good general will make good men. Likewise, you have to become a general with the following thoughts: I won't back down no matter what. I will wipe out the enemies if they start to attack. You have to have a blazing courage and a fighting spirit so that your soldiers will think, "Wow, if my general is like that, then I should follow him as well. Shouldn't you take the lead and just shout, 'Charge'? Huh?" Otherwise, you have to live a miserable life as a loser. Do you like the life that you're living right now? You're pressed for money, embarrassed everywhere you go. Can't see your friends or even attend a wedding properly because you don't know how much you need, so you decide not to go. How can you say that you're living when you're like this? Instead, become a good master copy and make duplicates of yourself. Make a goal such as the following: I will raise up 10 partners like me. That doesn't mean you should be betting either. Rather, you need to be finding consumers. When I emphasize this, many people go beyond themselves by just buying thousands of dollars of products when they shouldn't. You have to hop along like a crow by selling 1 or 2 products here and diligently building a consumer base. Your attitude should be, "I will put everything on the line." And you do your best to make that work. You have to become the best copy so that your partners can copy and duplicate everything you do. This is a life and death situation for you. The possibility of living like a noble or like a miserable, depressed, weak, and ordinary person who doesn't even have a retirement plan. And sighing all the time, who will depend on whether or not you are bold and courageous enough to have the fighting spirit that will overcome this situation. You must become a warrior. How can you be so weak when you have loved ones? You're like this because you lack love. You must be a good master copy. I won't sit still if you aren't. Since all of you promised that you will be a good master copy, I will end the lecture on this note. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, President Mr. Park Han-gil. Into the last part of our program, let's watch Sharon Rose Master Jin Young Hong for his lecture entitled Atomy Connecting the World as One.
Hello, I'm Sharon Rosemaster Jin Young Hong. I majored in electrical engineering at university and worked diligently at a large company for 28 years. In my mid-50s, while I was reflecting on my post-retirement life options, I got some information about Atomy business through a friend. First, I went to this seminar while working at my company. I tried some products, attended the seminars, and over the course of a year, I decided to do Atomy business. I convinced my wife, who was initially against it. Now, we are actively engaged in Atomy operations at home and abroad. Many people like me are worried about unexpected illnesses. We are also worried about the issues of an aging society and unemployment in rapidly changing social conditions. I'm sure that you have vague worries about your own old age. In the midst of all that, this unexpected COVID-19 pandemic has made things even more difficult. As the phrase new normal suggests, society has been divided into pre- and post-COVID-19. This situation is beyond our individual control. Among the many changes due to COVID-19, an untapped culture has taken hold, with non-face-to-face forms of education, film, distribution, work, concerts, and more. New terms have come out recently, such as home economy and home Ludens culture. Not all these changes are positive. In the US, large department stores with over 100 years of history have either gone out of business or are on the verge of doing so. Shrinking consumer sentiment is seriously reducing the global economy. According to Moody's World Economic Outlook report released in May 2020, the economic growth rates in the world's most advanced G20 countries was negative 4%. Korea's economic growth rate is expected to be negative 0.5%. The problem doesn't stop here. Currently, the US government keeps demanding a negative interest rate from the Federal Reserve, which means that the global economy will worsen even faster. The Bank of Korea finally announced the 0% benchmark interest rate on May 28th for the first time in Korean history in order to overcome this serious economic situation. What does the 0% benchmark interest rate mean? It means that corporate investment and consumption have shrunk beyond what the government can handle through spending. In Korea, many experts have talked about various problems, such as low economic growth, an aging population, and the fourth industrial revolution, all of which have been exacerbated due to COVID-19. Korea's population is rapidly aging while birth rates are low. Thus, population decline is a serious concern. Also, the fourth industrial revolution is transforming the business ecosystem, reducing the number of jobs. What should we do to prepare for this situation? Birth rates are already at negative 11% compared to the same period last year. To put it another way, 1 million people were born in the same year as me. Of course, this meant more competition for university admissions. But the fact that less than 300,000 people are born means a smaller consumer market and that much fewer business opportunities. We can't help but worry about what the future holds for children born in this day and age. The problem of population decline in Korea is its rapid pace, which doesn't leave enough time for us to prepare. At the end of 2018, Korea had a total of 7.65 million seniors aged 65 and up. But the problem is that starting in 2020, out of Korea's first baby boomers, 7.14 million born in 1950 will be the first to be included in an elderly welfare budget. So, a total of about 13 million people from the first and second rounds will be covered. The huge fiscal spending that this requires could bring financial crisis to every household. This year alone, the additional welfare costs for those born in 1955 is about $6 billion, which is an additional burden for taxpayers to shoulder. This is an unavoidable potential financial crisis that all families must face in the future. According to the OECD's forecast of total welfare expenses, currently, every productive person in Korea supports 40 out of 100 people. In the next 45 years, this will increase to 117 out of every 100 people. This means each person has to support 1.2 people. This is the future generation's lot. Human life expectancy continues to increase, while many countries around the world are analyzing genes and predicting diseases that are expected to occur. We're constantly researching ways to prolong human life. This is the era of Homo 100, where living to 100 years is becoming common. The problem isn't longer life expectancy, but the lack of work from retirement until death, which also means no income. Korea's elderly poverty rate is 3 times the OECD average, and 1 in every 2 elderly people worry about their next meal. If you don't have any income, family to rely on, nor savings, what choices do the elderly have in the future? In Japan, a country known for having the oldest population, 2 books called Bankruptcy of Old Age and Bankruptcy of Family were domestic bestsellers on Amazon and broadcast as documentaries on NHK. They are about elderly Japanese who worked hard when they were young and saved up for their pensions. But they describe the process of elderly people driven to sudden bankruptcy or their families going bankrupt due to an unexpected illness. If we've worked hard all our lives only to find no security in old age, could there be something wrong with our way of making money? I seriously reflected on this point. What are the ways we choose to make money? There are 2 ways. The first is labor income, and the second is capital income. Most people choose labor income. After our parents' generation, we studied hard to get into good schools and find jobs at good companies. I chose this path. But the problem is that your time is converted into wages, which limits how much income you can earn. Capital income can be divided into investment or systematized income. Investment income is a structure in which money makes money. Systematized income is when a system makes profits even when you are not working. So let's take a closer look at the lives of labor income earners. As of 2015, the average annual salary of the top 30% of income earners was $37,750. After taxes, their net monthly income is about $2,800. So how many years will it take for someone who makes around $37K a year to buy an apartment in Central Seoul that sells for about $1 million? It'll take about 61.37 years. How much will apartment prices change after 60 years? Historically, inflation cannot surpass wage growth forever. Significant amounts of data show that the gap between labor and capital income began to widen rapidly in the late 20th century, especially after the 70s. This has led to growing wealth inequality and distribution. After the 2009 financial crisis, the top 1% of the world's wealth grew exponentially, while the other 99% shrunk. In 2015, there was a phenomenon where 1% of the population had far more wealth than the other 99%. Wealth all over the world is now driven by capital income. So which income source should we choose? Investment income takes time to earn, but it's possible for us to earn systematized income. From now, let's learn about systematized income. In the Amazon bestseller, The Millionaire Fastlane, author M.J. DeMarco mentions 5 seeds that can create systematized income. DeMarco left home at the age of 20 with $750 and became a millionaire in his 30s. Of the 5 seeds he talks about, I'd like to discuss the 4th, which is the distribution system. In particular, I'd like to share about how it relates to Atomy's business vision. So far, there have been 4 major stages in distribution. At first, people did direct trade through barter. Second was distribution in offline stores. Then, we have online and mobile distribution, which we all know. Now, in the 4th industrial revolution, we're in the age of platform distribution, which combines AI, big data, augmented reality, and virtual reality. The interesting thing is that everyone in their 20s and up worldwide have experienced almost all of these. But what does this mean? It means that distribution has changed at such a rapid pace, and it's meaningless to evaluate these changes based on past experience. With such a rapid change in distribution, humanity is becoming more used to direct supply chains from producers to consumers. Thus, the distribution structure of direct sales has expanded. Atomy also has this direct sales distribution structure. In Korea, 20,000 door-to-door sales companies and 138 MLMs, among others, have a combined sales total of $22.136 billion, which is comparable to the size of standard large distributors. In addition, 138 businesses have joined a cooperative union to compensate for damages to consumers. The sales of these 138 companies reached $5.22 billion as of 2018. We can see that sales continue to grow compared to $2.56 billion in 2008. The global direct sales market is worth about $232 billion, with Korea boasting the world's 3rd largest market after China and the US. In particular, last year, Atomy gave a presentation at a meeting of executives from the World Direct Sales Association about its growth. There are so many companies around the world, so what should our standards be? It's important to know the exact criteria. The first is the owner's worldview. President Park centered all company strategies around the idea of winning against other distribution companies with low-priced, top-quality products. As for social responsibility, Atomy has donated more than $20 million for those in need over the 10 years since its foundation in 2009. These efforts have been covered by leading economic magazines such as Fortune and Forbes, as well as in major daily newspapers in Korea. The second criteria is whether consumers voluntarily repurchase our products. Atomy's core management focuses most of its efforts on voluntary repurchases. The third is an easy, balanced, unchanging compensation plan. In the last 10 years, Atomy has never modified its compensation plan, which is rare for a binary model. The fourth is whether there's an education system that allows anyone to succeed. If it's a business where only capable leaders can succeed, it's meaningless to ordinary people. Now let's take some time to learn about this part. By looking at the top 5 best-selling products at Atomy, you can see where the voluntary repurchases are. Hemohim at number 1 earns more than $180 million a year in sales. It broke the industry's best sales records for 5 years in a row. Absolute Cell Active, the second best-selling Atomy product, ranks 3rd in sales in the cosmetics sector. Major Korean news outlets report that one is sold every 9 seconds. Third is Atomy Probiotics 10 Plus. Fourth is Atomy Toothpaste Plus. And fifth are toothbrushes. Over 30 million Atomy toothbrushes are produced annually and sold worldwide. Health supplements and daily necessities are the mainstays. Products are based on whether they can be repurchased, and steady sales are being generated through daily necessity products. To facilitate repurchases, The most important thing is that our product quality is higher than that of other brands. Also, our prices must be affordable. Otherwise, consumers have no reason to choose Atomy's products. Using Atomy products must provide value. Yes, Atomy is practicing what was only possible in theory. Many consumers ask me how I know whether Atomy products are really good and affordable. I say this: since its foundation in 2009, Atomy has had an average return rate of 0.12 to 0.19% over the past decade. It means that consumers are more aware of the fact that they can't buy better products than these at these prices. Atomy has set the principle of absolute quality, absolute price as a key strategy for providing affordable luxury goods to the public in the past decade. Absolute quality means that if another brand's product is priced the same, ours will be of unbeatable quality. And if another product has the same quality, our prices will be lower. In line with Atomy's core management strategy, more than 86% of our members have never received general commission. I can tell you that at Atomy, purchases are made for the purpose of consumption, and that it's the most important figure for us. As such, Atomy has been managing every aspect with a focus on consumers and has been running its marketing policies accordingly. As part of this effort, Atomy is certified as the industry's first consumer-centered managed company. The Consumer-Centered Management certification means that the Korea Consumer Agency has judged that all departments or management within the company operate from the consumer's perspective. It is a system certified by the Fair Trade Commission. If you go to the Fair Trade Commission website and search CCM, you'll see this. Please check for CCM certification before purchasing the product. Atomy is one of the only 182 companies in Korea that have received CCM certification. Doesn't that make you proud? Recognizing the value of Atomy, the number of members around the world has grown rapidly, reaching 6 million by the end of 2019. Atomy has seen dramatic growth in sales over the past decade, driven by such a rapid increase in membership around the world. As of 2019, sales in Korea reached $1.08 billion, and total global sales reached the incredible sum of $1.5 billion. This means that total global sales are 60 times larger than in 2009. Atomy received the 100 Million Export Tower Award from the government in December 2019 for this sales figure and also a presidential commendation. In addition, it ranked 11th globally among direct sales companies, raising 9 spots from 20th in 2019 within a single year. Isn't this growth phenomenal? This is how Atomy connects consumers around the world, starting in 2010 with its first entry into the US. Over the past decade, it has made inroads into 14 countries in 13 regions and is operating stably in each. In Korea, where the domestic market is currently in a slump, many of our Atomy members will have more opportunities to enter overseas markets. How can we start Atomy business? Many of you are curious about this part. Atomy changes the consumption patterns and habits of consumers through high satisfaction, which makes consumers switch stores to Atomy from their preferred brands or suppliers. Thus, they become loyal Atomy consumers, and then they introduce products they are satisfied with to other consumers. Not only do they consume the products, they can also receive PVs for the sales from consumers they introduced, which they get back as commission. Thus, Atomy doesn't end simply with product consumption. All consumers receive PVs through which they can receive commission and be connected with other consumers worldwide. Atomy business starts with consumers switching stores to Atomy due to satisfaction with its products. They become loyal Atomy consumers, feeling satisfied with Atomy products and recommending them to others. And it's not only their consumption, but also the consumption of those they introduced, which accumulates as PVs that they receive as commissions. You can accumulate PVs at higher rates than at discount stores. Voluntarily, repurchases help turn expenses into commission. Atomy is a distribution platform that can connect consumers to the world. Consumers can become platform owners and earn systematized income. Now, let's learn about Atomy's simple and unchanging compensation plan. We've eliminated the widespread problem of mandatory entry and maintenance fees as preconditions for commission. Commission is paid based on sales from your left and right consumer groups. Sales from these groups are recognized up to infinite levels. Thus, if partners work hard to introduce Atomy to others, a more skilled or better leader can emerge. Then, everyone in the group succeeds together. Global One Marketing connects consumers wherever Atomy has entered with one ID. So even without overseas connections, your consumer group can expand to infinite levels worldwide. Also, a compensation ceiling limits a member's PV accumulation to 50 million per day. This ceiling means that instead of a successful few taking the lion's share of commissions, even beginners can rise in the ranks. At the ceiling, they can receive the same commission regardless of when they started. Isn't it truly just? There are 4 types of commission at Atomy. First is the general commission. Second is the multiple matching bonus. Third is the mastership bonus. And the fourth is the education commission. First off, general commission is settled on a daily and weekly basis. It is calculated from Wednesday and paid out the following Tuesday. Between your left and right leg sales, you get a score based on the smaller leg. The unit value of commission is applied to that score to calculate your commission. To prevent overload, the company flushes out excess PVs at each level. Even if PVs increase by 166 times, the score will only increase by 20 times. This advantages beginner contractors who are just starting out. The second in the multi-matching bonus, accounts are settled twice a month, and commission is based on the sales and status of downline partners from the 1st to the 15th and 16th to end of the month. A contractor who maintains his or her mastership, including 4 general commissions a month, receives a total of 6 monthly general commissions. The first mastership is Sales Master, rewarded when the sales of the left and the right groups reach 2.5 million PVs each within 15 days. Sales Masters become Auto Sales Masters if this happens 12 times a year. Becoming an Auto Sales Master is the primary goals of Atomy contractors, because once they get there, they've almost reached the top mastership. That's why becoming an Auto Sales Master should be our first goal. Another feature is that out of 20% in total commissions paid out, 10% goes to Sales Master's first commissions. Usually the distribution ratio is lower the higher you rise, so it's giving beginners a leg up. Atomy has 7 masterships, including the first, Sales Master. Starting with the Diamond Master, you must have 2 mastership holders with the same mastership as you on each side. For example, in order to be the 4th mastership holder, a Star Master, you must have 2 people of the preceding mastership, Sharon Rose Master, on each side. In other words, your success is possible through your partner's success. This is a remarkable compensation plan where we can succeed through super synergy of united heart. If you look at the third, the mastership bonus, the company provides cash or an overseas trip as a bonus for moving up. From Sharon Rose Master, you receive cash and an overseas family trip. Once you reach the top as Imperial Master, you receive a total of $1.362 million in cash. Also, from Royal Master, you'll receive a sedan and a general commission activity fee. Finally, the Education Commission. The Education Commission is a rare allowance that pays 6% of a center's sales PVs for membership training. Lastly, Atomy's headquarters directly organize and provide all seminars on and offline. As of 2018, a total of 2,152 seminars were held in 14 countries, including Korea and 171 other regions. This means that an average of 6 seminars were held per day worldwide. So even without any skills, if you invite others to join you at the seminars, you can succeed through super synergy of united heart. Atomy has evolved constantly since its foundation in 2009. Back in 2009, Atomy may have seemed to be just a door-to-door sales or MLM company. But since then, Atomy has expanded its products and grown to 6 million members worldwide. Following the age of network marketing and the age of distribution hubs in 2017, 2020 will mark the platform age. It's the first year of operating a platform built to connect consumers and consumption worldwide through Global One marketing. If you look at the book, Super Forecast, The Future of Wealth, world-renowned scholar Yuval Harari states that our biggest concern isn't disappearing jobs, but rather how to protect human dignity in the face of mass unemployment. This is a global concern. Also in Super Forecast, Scott Galloway, the famous author of The Four, strongly criticized platform companies for their lack of social responsibility. Galloway says that it's much better for society to break them up into smaller companies. In other words, the problem is that all the world's wealth is increasingly concentrated within big platform companies. What makes Atomy different is that it's a platform that has created connections that have never existed before. It connects global consumption capital and shares this capital as PVs that gets paid out as commissions. By giving 35% of total sales back to consumers, they are not just consumers, but platform owners and distributors. This is securing consumers' positions. In the future, society will force consumers to choose one of two options, whether to remain a simple consumer or to become an agent of distribution. Which will you choose? Allow me to summarize the Atomy platform business one last time. Since there are no fixed costs, there are also no losses. It's a scalable platform anywhere in the world that generates revenue through sharing and connectivity, not ownership, so there are no maintenance fees. All price-related information is open, so consumers can compare before they join. The global consumers you share with are connected as one. And even now, this connection is spreading out into the world. This is how we work together with Atomy to connect you with the capital of consumers around the world. Many scholars around the world say that new connections create new wealth. Would you like to compete? Or would you like to connect and coexist? It's time for you to make a wise choice. Thank you for listening to this lengthy company introduction. This has been Sharon Rosemaster Jin Yong Hong.
Thank you, Sharon Rosemaster Jin Young Hong, for that lecture. And congratulations to our last week Catching Success winner. Message our page at Atomy Ariul Marikina Aja Center on how to claim your prize. And before we end, please be reminded of this announcement. Catching Success online at 2 p.m. every Tuesday and morning meeting every Monday to Thursday 9 a.m. live via YouTube channel of Atomy Ariul Marikina Aja Center. And one-day seminar at 1 p.m. Thursday live via YouTube channel and Facebook page of Atomy PH Official. And don't forget to subscribe in our YouTube channel at Atomy Ariul Marikina Aja Center and click the notification bell. As we end, let us remind ourselves to the principle we uphold here in Atomy by reciting our company motto. Ready, position, please. Yup. Company motto, go. Cherish the spirit, create the vision. Follow the faith, serve in humility. Aja, Aja, Aja.